Hey, I didn't know this, but I'm being told that Bobby Knight has been traveling around with Donald Trump through Indiana. I mean, we're making the Bobby Knight reference. Is that true? Is he doing that?
I don't know.
Kind of makes sense, right? Well, that's pretty powerful if that's the case.
It is.
Donald Trump.
Bobby Knight would be a great...
Bobby Knight's... Yeah.
He'd be a great
legendary
cabinet member. He'd be a great cabinet member, maybe Secretary of War or
Basketball.
something.
I think he should be the negotiator. He should go out and negotiate all deals. Because let me tell you, he's an intimidator. I wanted to play for you this is the CEO of Chobani. The founder and CEO of Chobani Yogurt gave his employees an ownership stake in the company yesterday, splitting up 10% of the company's shares, as Christine said, among the employees when the company goes public. Hamdi Ulakaya. He's a Turkish immigrant. And here is part of what he said from yesterday. And, of course, as we all know, this is just down the highway as you go south down to New Berlin, New York. Here we go. Here at WIBX, the announcement was just made that we're going to be charged 5 cents more for every soda, so they make more money to treat us even better than they already do. I'm pretty excited about that.
But
this was big. This was big news. I mean, this is really very cool, and hopefully sets an example for companies. I mean, because when you bring in the employee becomes, you try to don't you always hear the keywords, Christine, and we all hear this, right? Mm-hmm. Is that we feel ownership, and when the employee feels ownership, they take it personally, and their success it's personal. The company's success, absolutely. And I think when you really do give them ownership, I mean, I think that's a pretty big deal, and they are making money like crazy. It seems up there.
Absolutely. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned yet the immigration aspect of this, because this is like, he is now the poster child for immigration to the United States. And even what he said, this country has been so great to us, and now it's time to give back. Advocates of immigration in this country, have to use that as... Well,
I think that's why you need to build a ladder. And the Americans will build the ladder, which will go over the wall that the Mexicans are made to build. Because you just don't know, right? You don't know who's going to come in, who's going to do great things. Those are the parts, I guess, that we don't pay any attention to. You're right, Christine.
Some of the people I worked with in Cooperstown, and this was years ago, probably 2 or 3 years ago, that, because Cooperstown's, somewhat close to New Berlin.
But he lived in Cooperstown.
Mm-hmm.
That's where this guy lived, and they started his plant in New Berlin.
So, I had talked with them a lot and say, oh, yeah, I work at the Chobani plant. And even before this, great gift. I mean, people that I talked to said they loved working there, and it was just an amazing job.
And certainly the Rimmer Mill has not neglected Chobani, because a lot of people have, prognosticated that they would lose their shirts, basically, especially in the last year.
You know what happens? I think the minute somebody has success, we're all out saying, well, they're going to tank now. Wait till you see it. Mm. Speaking of that, you were talking about Apple and their first time since, 2003 or something, that Apple iPhone sales are down. And, you're going to hear the people calling out the demise of Apple. But it's starting to become the point where I really hope they're planning something really big, because this is the post-Steve Jobs time. I mean, the stuff that he had in queue ready to go, I'm assuming is pretty much out now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, this is yesterday when I had first read about this, I so missed having you here, A, and B, I was regretting the fact that my Apple iPhone is pretty much dead at this point, and my fault, not anyone else's, because I couldn't text anybody. But I had an interesting conversation with somebody about Apple yesterday, and they were saying, are we plateauing? What's going to happen with the 7? Is it just a modified version of the 6 because of the fact that they need to make up for all the poor sales? They're reporting...
and that's what I've heard other people say.
That's bunk.
I think that is... I do, because they're not sitting there saying, boy, we don't have anything. What are we going to do next? Hey, let's take what we're going to do in the 7 and move it to make the 8 bigger. You know that their plans are far deeper than that. And I think we knew all along that the 7 was not going to be any big was not going to be any big change, but who knows? Maybe it is. I don't know, but I still think, what's the next big thing that's going to come out of Apple? When you get to be as big as they have finally become, I think the expectations go really high. So, listen, we have a lot to get into here. A lot of people watch this live with Regis and Kelly Lee, or what is it again? It's Kelly,
Regis and Michael.
Michael and Kelly.
Michael and Kelly.
Kelly and Michael.
Regis and Michael.
Whatever the hell it is. Anyway, Strahan, of course, makes the announcement that he's splitting. She's on vacation, and when she came back yesterday, it was yesterday, right? She did some ripping.
Yeah,
and everybody wondered why. Well, she did some ripping. I have some audio, and I'll give you my take on it. But I can't believe, well, we'll talk about it. I just can't believe they treated her this way. The company treated her this way. Maybe that's telling a little bit. But we do have audio, and I know she, it didn't go that bad, but there were some digs in there. We'll talk about it. And I'll play some audio coming up. Christine has news in about a minute on WIBX. Hold tight.